of the Alan Cox Show.
He is today. He's honoring. He's being deputized into the show. How you doing, Jimmy?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
I'm a little sleepy. I took a nap.
I know your affinity for Quincy, and so, of course, that's an obvious gag there to play the Quincy music. But I had actually forgotten all the nuances of that show.
Yeah.
The intro to the show, they'll intersperse little clips of him doing his job. And then there's one where he's stroking a woman's hip, but they lead you to believe...
When I was a kid, I loved that.
...that it's a corpse.
Yes.
And then at the end, it turns out she's in a bikini and they're having a martini on a boat.
Yeah, and she has an ass like a corpse, though. We're obsessed on Opie and Anthony with her ass being so flat and horrible.
Like, Jack Klugman, really?
Yeah, the sexy coroner.
Yeah.
Sexy, intrigue, action-packed coroner life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, guys used to hanging out in, like, the morgue with bodies and stuff. And
his fingers smell like formaldehyde, but he's got the hot blonde on a houseboat.
Yeah.
His members-only jacket.
Right.
I love how Quincy's always caught up in doing press conferences. We can't stop talking about Quincy. I could do a 4-hour show and just talk about how great he is.
Does any cable channel still show Quincy?
I don't know.
TV Land used to.
Did they stop?
Probably.
Klugman sued, I think, because he wasn't getting the residuals he thought he should get. He was kind of pissed off, I think, that he wasn't getting paid what he should have gotten paid. But you just get him on Netflix or on DVD, and you know, how do you not love this guy?
So Klugman, he can't talk anymore. He like throat cancer. Right? Yeah.
Didn't he do the Odd Couple on Broadway after that, though? He did something after that.
Maybe.
But yeah, he smoked cigars all those years.
He'll always be Oscar Madison to me.
Absolutely. Any of those guys are lucky to be alive, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, those comics lived, like the actors lived in like the 70s and the 60s. All they did was smoke and drink, and they still live to be 90 years old.
Well, and TV shows now, too, when you look back at like the 70s, like when I was a kid, it's like TV shows in the 70s, they used actors who were already old and gave them their own shows. Now it's like they go, oh, who's semi-popular from MTV? They'll throw some 22-year-old kid on and give him a show or something. Today, if somebody's like, let's give Jack Klugman a show, you're like, who the hell is Jack Klugman?
Yeah, nobody wants older actors anymore. Which is one reason TV sucks so much, is because they're so caught up in being young and attractive. And, you know, it's like guys like Carol O'Connor or Red Fox. I mean, those were funny guys.
Yeah.
No, they weren't good looking. They were the funniest people on television were always ugly. I mean, Cramden was a fat pig, Jackie Gleason, Louis De Palma, Danny DeVito's a horribly ugly man. The funniest people on TV were always ugly. Gene Stapleton was ugly. Carol Burnett was ugly.
Yeah.
And now they just go for looks.
Gene Stapleton.
Yeah. I mean, she was terrible looking.
Yeah, right.
She was terrible
like
looking.
a dude.
Yeah. Remember the show, the movie she did called Aunt Mary or something, where she played like a coach in a wheelchair?
Vaguely.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
Why would I mention that? Talk about things you should never talk about on a 2010 afternoon drive show.
Oh, we don't care. Chad and I are two guys in our mid-30s. We don't care. We ended up talking about asking what the family name from One Day at a Time was the other day.
Romano.
Romano, thank you. And I couldn't grab the name out of my head.
Well, the fun family was Phillips. What they were doing after the show, apparently.
Yeah, right.
Mackenzie and her dad. How do you not love that?
and she's on. Mackenzie Phillips is on Celebrity Rehab or whatever the sex show is or something. And
I love that. That was a great show today. Thanks, Dad. It's so fantastic.
Here comes Schneider.
Yeah, with his tool belt and probably his bags and his lube. Now that he knew what Mackenzie was like.
Oh God!
What a wonderful show.
Who played Schneider?
Pat Harrington.
Yeah,
was the guy. Yeah. Jim Norton is at the House of Blues tonight here in Cleveland. He is let me get it out, a New York Times best-selling author.
Yeah, it was. Both of the books went to the list. The second one, we were such idiots. I came out on November 4th of last year, the day of the election, first black president, and it was such a stupid time to come out. But because, you know, like Maya Angelou had a book on the list, a lot of black celebrities, and Obama there was like 4 or 3 Obama books on the list. I should have come out like earlier, but the Barnes & Noble said, no, come out on that date, we'll give you 8 weeks on our front table, so I did.
Plus you'll stand way out in that company.
Yeah, I know, I guess I really did.
Yeah.
All these inspirational, positive books about black achievement, and then my rotten little face with flowers, I hate your guts.
The only white guy on a cover on the table there, too.
Yeah, just a miserable title, and nothing but bile.
And Jim Norton, of course, also one of the stars, the new film Cop Out.
Yeah, dude, you said
which I saw the other night.
It was awesome.
Well, I had one scene in it. I'm glad they just left it in. I mean, you know, my acting is mediocre at best. I saw Bruce Willis at the after party, and he shook my hand, but he tried to avoid eye contact. I think whatever destroyed my acting ability, he didn't seem to want to catch it.
Well, we saw it on Tuesday night. I'm sitting there, I with my girlfriend, I go, it's Jim Norton. She goes, where?
Exactly.
It was so fast.
Yeah, I was literally in and out. But Kevin's movies are kind of like a lot of times they're notoriously long, so I think they had to chop it. And I saw it I have not seen the final cut. I saw a rough copy.
It's an hour 46. That's long.
For a comedy, it's very long.
I think so, because it's a great movie because it's...
What did you play in it, Jim?
I play a guy with tattoos. My scene is not even funny. It's basically information. It's like I actually had a scene with Bruce and Tracy, which was great, where they come into a tattoo shop and they need to ask about a tattoo, which takes them to a beach, which gets them to the guy, Sean William Scott, who they're looking for. But they just need me to describe a tattoo. So like they show me, and Bruce Willis is holding a tattoo needle over my eye, and then they just apparently pans to the beach where they're already there, and it's got my voiceover. So
so it was a longer scene.
Yeah, that was all shot with them there, but it's like when you look at the way it was edited, from what I've heard, it made sense the way they did it. I wasn't needed. They didn't have to show me, because I was saying something to them, and their line as they walk out is, well, we're a couple of dicks, because that was the name of the movie at first, a couple of dicks, and then they made them change that, so they didn't need that tagline. That became unnecessary, because that's not the name of the movie anymore. Yeah. So they chopped it the whole second half.
They didn't want to have them walk out of a room and go, cop out.
Exactly.
Yeah. We got to get the tagline. But to me, it was beautiful because it is a little on the long side, but it was like a great 80s buddy cop movie. The Harold Faltermeyer music in it. It was like watching Fletch. He's all the Fletch music in it.
I've seen it. The copy I actually saw it at Kevin's house in L.A. There was no editing. It was like it was edited, but there was like very sloppy edits. There was no music in it.
Like a real raw cut in it, yeah.
Very, very raw, just to show me the story progression.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see a movie like that. I would love to see it finalized now and see it finished.
Did he come to you about that? How does a Jim Norton get into that?
My friends wrote it. My buddies Rob and Mark Cullum are the exec producers and the writers, and they've done a lot of stuff. They're really funny guys.
Because they didn't really play up the Kevin Smith angle at all. I had heard about this movie a while ago, and it sounded really funny because Tracy Morgan's Dynamite. I had no idea it was a Kevin Smith movie, though.
That's because Bruce Willis is the big name. I mean, and plus Warner Brothers is Warner Brothers. So it was the fact Kevin was directing it was great. But I think that their angle from Warner Brothers is, well, the guy that's going to make us all the money is going to be Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they concentrate on.
Except that now the time between a movie gets greenlit and then made and then put out, whatever. Tracy Morgan is huge too. I guarantee you, there's more people going to the street for Tracy Morgan than Bruce Willis.
And he was hilarious in it. Tracy was really funny, man.
Yeah.
And the thing I liked about it cop buddy movies are usually very tired at this point, but they didn't harp on the racial angle, which I liked. Like they didn't go. It wasn't a whole lot about the racial stuff. Not that I mind racial stuff.
They barely mentioned it at all.
Yeah, but it was just like because after a while, two cops working together, you're used to it. He's black, so what? 9 years. I mean, it's not new anymore.
Was one of them a loose cannon?
No, they were both kind of like idiots. Like Tracy was more so, but if you know Tracy in real life, that's the yo, I'm gonna get you pregnant. That's how Tracy is in real life. I mean, so they actually, I don't know Bruce, but I know Tracy well, and that was pretty much how he is. So they just probably gave him a fake gun and said, "Go ahead.
Here's the scene, and we're gonna roll. Do what you want to do.
Yeah,
and we'll figure it out." Yeah.
And Kevin is so laid back. I don't think Kevin Smith has ever yelled at anybody in his life. I mean, so he just kind of allows things. That's why his movies are good.
Because he gets wind to doing it.
Yeah. Kevin's not the most energetic fella.
Yeah, right.
You were in Spider-Man too. You're like in a ton of blockbusters.
One line. I'm the king of in and out. They give me just enough.
Art imitates life, as it were.
Really? Yeah, they had me very briefly, and then never again. So hopefully they'll give me another one, because Kevin put me in Zack and Mary too. He gave me one line.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, man. I love Kevin Smith.
So when you were on the phone with us a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Lucky Louie, and he's got the new thing coming on HBO, I guess. And what do you got?
I shot something with him since then. It was last Monday.
I wondered if you were going to be in that or not, or if.
Well, it's different than Lucky Louie in that it's a lot of Louie's real life. So things that
like family stuff more,
or real life comedy stuff. Like the scene we shot, he asked me not to say what it was about, but I'll say it was about a discussion. It was written from a discussion that had taken place at the table at the Comedy Cellar with a bunch of comedians. Okay. And Louis is brilliant, man. He took that and he wrote it out very, very similar to the way it actually happened. The lines were the same. The dialogue was really funny. Yeah. And but for television, where it's dirty too, and we shot it. It was really good.
It's going to be tough, because I know there's a lot of times where, and obviously you know this, comedians will sit around, and somebody will say something, you'll be sitting around, and you know this too, Chad, you'll be sitting around, everybody just be kind of just having conversations, and somebody will go, are you going to use that? Yeah. And somebody else will go, use what? You go, what are you just saying?
My whole act.
Always somebody
that's my whole act. Are you going to use that act?
Just I always say that when I watch Comedy Central, and when nobody answers back, I just write it down for myself.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I think Kent. What are you writing?
What's he got?
iTunes. Oh, I was supposed to plug my iTunes CDs. Excellent timing. A loud marker.
You gotta mark it, man. You gotta mark it quickly. Yeah.
I told you on the phone, but I gotta tell you how greatest story in LA. I toned it down on the phone. I wanted to wait till we were in person. So I read your book, I Hate Your Guts. I was really sick when I read it, and I was almost borderline pneumonia. And it helped me get through.
Okay.
So I was in Los Angeles. I was at Jeff Ross's DVD release party, and I remember I was hanging out there. And you were over in the corner. You were talking to Barry Katz, right? So I was just waiting for my opening to go say, to meet you. And I was so intimidated. So Barry Katz leaves. Then I start walking up. Whitney Cummings jumps in. I'm like, oh, perfect. I know Whitney. This will be great. And she totally puts her back to me. She never met me. I go to every freaking open mic with this chick. She just totally blew me off.
Maybe she was showing you her ass.
All right. But finally, I finally got my open. I came over and I shook your hand. I don't know if you remember that, but I said, hey, man. Yeah.
Just say yes, Jim. Say yes.
No.
I totally remember that. It was the palm was sweaty.
No,
the whole 9 yards.
I was probably too busy just trying to shake off the fleas after talking to Barry. Well, actually,
He's 9 feet tall.
Yeah, he really is a big, lanky, creepy guy.
Yeah.
You're very special.
But I was so intimidated, man. I mean, you get people just intimidated coming up to you all the time?
I don't know. I don't know. Because you never know before someone speaks to you. But sometimes, there's no need to. I'm so easy. I'm so accessible. There's never any need to be. I mean, I always. People have occasionally told me, yeah, I met you and you weren't really nice to them. I'm surprised. I'm usually pretty cordial to people. Because I've been blown off too many times the other way, by people. So I always try to make anybody feel like they're not being blown off.
And you never know what exact nanosecond somebody's going to come up to you as you're trying to do something else.
Oh,
so
sure.
you're walking to a car.
If I was trying, if somebody that I was awestruck by was there, if Ozzy was there and I was trying to get to Ozzy to talk to him and somebody approached me, I would just literally put my hands in their face and push away. You know what I mean? If I was starstruck by somebody else, but other than that, I would never.
But do you like that? You see him and you kind of look for your opening to go in.
It's horrible.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. And people can sense when you're looking for the opening.
Right.
And if they don't know, they just they keep it going so you can't get the opening.
That was 45 minutes of me with him. It was.
I didn't sense it. I really didn't.
I'm standing there. I'm standing behind Dane Cook. I'm I'm gonna move in here.
You're waiting for Mean Joe Green to sign your jersey or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hang out, Jim?
Sure, man.
All right, good.
Sweet.
Jim Norton is at the House of Blues tonight in Cleveland. Is the show sold out?
I don't think it is. Which I don't know if it is. It wasn't as of this morning. There's 100 tickets left as of this morning, so I don't know if there's
We're going to give some away, too. Otherwise, go to houseofblues.com and look for that. We will take a break. We'll return with Jim Norton after these.